It's Tuesday, December the 20th, and this is Business Incorporated, live from Channels Television in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Bosin Amapayewe. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, the board of the International Monetary Fund backed the convicted but not to be punished Managing Director, Christine Lagarde. Channels Television, in partnership with Chevening scholars, hold roundtable on Nigeria's 2017 budget as panelists differ on budget delivery. Plus, recession hits Nigeria's consumer wallets as Christmas holiday approaches. Now, these are the details for the next 30 minutes. Stick around. The head of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, has won the support of the board of the Global Finance Agency to remain at her post despite a court verdict against her in France. The executive board met after Monday's court verdict and says members reaffirms his full confidence in the managing director's ability to continue to effectively carry out her duties. Ms. Lagarde had been charged with negligence for her role in the payment of more than 400 million euros to a former politician, Bernard Tapie, when she was a French finance minister. Lagarde denied the allegations. After a 5-day trial, a French court found her guilty but imposed no penalty.
I would like to publicly thank the IMF Executive Board for reaffirming its full confidence in my ability to do my job as head of the IMF. The Executive Board, representing the IMF entire membership, 189 member states, have reaffirmed their confidence and have, throughout the process of this trial and the 5 years that have preceded it, have always expressed their support, and this has indeed sustained me and given me a lot of strength. Throughout this ordeal that I've gone through, I have never allowed myself to be distracted from the focus of what has been my professional life in the last 5 years, the mission of the IMF and me leading the organization. I have been held negligent, but without penalty, without sanction, without registration of the decision. I am not satisfied with it, but there's a point in time when one has to just stop, turn the page, and move on, and continue to work with those who have put their trust in me.
So it's the second trading day of the week, and here on the African continent is a mixed bag among some of the big exchanges. All the indices were in the green today, with the exception of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. As of last check, the NSE All-Share Index was down about 0.1%. The South African GSE was about 0. The Kenyan Stock Exchange closed to the green on Monday. That's up about 0.19%. The Egyptian market 3.44% to the north, and of course the South African GSE slightly ahead, 50,000 on the All-Share Index, 0.44%. Stepping into the Gulf, the Middle East to be precise, banking shares in Qatar made strong gains on Tuesday morning after 3 Qatari banks said they were in talks on a potential $44 billion merger. However, other markets in the Gulf outside Abu Dhabi retreated on profit taking. Take a look at how the indices from the region were about an hour ago. The Abu Dhabi market glitching to the 4,479 by 0.5%. The Dubai financial markets about 0.75% in the red. The Qatari Stock Exchange piping hot above 10,000 index level by 1.65%, and the Saudi Stock Exchange racing slightly above the 7,000 index level by 0.69%. That's in the red. 12 people died and 44 more were injured on Monday night at a Berlin's Christmas market when a truck was driven into shoppers. German authorities say investigators assume the act, which revives memories of another truck attack in Bastille, south of France last July, was deliberate. Meantime, European stocks were edging higher in early trade today in spite of 2 separate attacks in Germany and in Turkey, in which the Russian ambassador was assassinated. Let's cross over to Frankfurt Stock Exchange, where my colleague Conrad Boson is standing by for DWTV, for Channels Television, on the floor of the exchange. Conrad, good afternoon. A really sad day in Berlin and throughout Germany and the world last night. How is that story being reported in the local media? Are folks seriously concerned right now about the holiday shopping period and, of course, the festivities that go with the year-end and the new year?
Well, both, and of course the news media today are full of the events in Berlin. A while ago, the German Chancellor, Ms. Merkel, gave a speech in Berlin and a press conference. At the moment, as we speak, there's another press conference happening in Berlin where the chief of police and the man who's responsible in the Berlin government, in the regional government there for police affairs, are explaining what they know about the event of yesterday, and people that you can, see right behind me sitting there working here at the stock exchange, while one eye sort of is following the events on the markets, the other eye is following the news reports about the Berlin events, of course. In terms of numbers, well, check out what the German DAX does today. There's no definite negative reaction there. The German DAX, the share index here, is even trading slightly higher. Of course, terror events do not have an immediate impact on business. A company that's listed in the German DAX doesn't have to, worry about earnings immediately. The way that terror works is a bit more subtle, more conniving, more malicious, if you like. It's infiltrating people's minds. It makes business people think twice or even more often about potential investments where you don't know exactly how risky they are and what the outcome will be. They might postpone those business investments even more. That's how terror works. And, well, in terms of shopping, that's not something that's too much on people's minds right now. The events in Berlin are still very fresh, and nobody really wants to really even think about how shopping will be impacted.
Yes, Conrad, I'm sure the markets was not factoring that in. As you said, it's a bit subtle, it's insidious what the terrorists want to inflict in the mind psychologically for the people. But again, for bigger story in the minds of the investors, Volkswagen, the German auto giant, still reeling with the diesel deception. 2.1 billion Canadian dollars class action settlement to resolve the claims in Canada about false and misleading marketing from the